Hello everyone and welcome back. What's on our plate today is the HTTP protocol and how to properly configure then establish a new connection with an external application. And for these video purposes we'll be using VMware ESXi as you can see on the screen. It is worth to remember that at the very beginning with the initial launch of your Fido instance you won't be getting any listener for the HTTP protocol. Therefore our first goal will be to create one so we can use it somewhere in future. And starting from the Fido 5.1 there is no need to open a desired category to place any of the base data model objects type. The only thing you'll have to do is to select the plus button. It will pop up with a new window where you can alter all required information and add all necessary data. Alright, so let's click the plus button which is located next to the listeners. The main thing that we'll have to give here is a name, like the HTTP, of course. Okay, it's about the protocol. Also, it should be placed as the HTTP that's going to be utilized by us. What matters at most is the mode of your listener. You can select one of the following categories. However, speaking of the supported protocols, it is recommended to use Bastion or Proxy mode. By the way, I'll be using Bastion mode this time. You will have to fill out this local IP address and a port number. About the local IP address, it might be the same IP address that you're using to go into the administrative panel, to the main dashboard of Fido. About the port, kind of a random here, like 8443. In terms of the external address and the external port, those two categories should remain blank. However, the key here will be to use the TLS, including the TLS certificate. Keep in mind that this option needs to be activated. So you can see that this field is empty at the moment, and that is the reason why we need to create a new certificate by ourselves. By clicking the cog icon, you will have to fill out the common name field like http_pass, for instance, then submit all of the changes. And now system will automatically generate a new TLS certificate for our newly created listener. And remember to save all the recordings at the very end of the process. Now let's get deeper into something more critical, which is server configuration. So select the plus button. It will pop up with new window with a static server configuration. And now you can put here any type of a name, but as a best practice and to keep everything in order, it will be better to name it after the application you're about to link with your Fido. Like in our case, it's going to be ESXi. The protocol that will be in place is HTTP, of course. We can change also the timer for the HTTP connection, like 100 for instance, and that will be basically it at this point. Now at the very bottom of the page there is a add host button, so select that one to create the proper relations between each object, like that. Your application, in our case VMware ESXi, has its own IP address. Place it right here, and the port number that will be in use is 443, dedicated port for the HTTP connection. The HTTP host option is not necessary to have it here. Nevertheless, the authentication method, if we would like to connect automatically without kind of necessity of entering any credentials in future, will be expected by system. So choose one of the options. In our case, we need to select the other one. And here, we need to place a couple of different information, like login page. And login page should reflect the same URL address you are entering to get to your standard ESXi login screen, that particular one. So just copy it from the address bar and place it right here. And that is the place where all the fun begins, as we will need to determine the exact string to be used by Fido during the entire authentication process. And to get such information, open your ESXi login page and right click to inspect elements, as I'm doing at the moment. What we are seeking for are very specific information that are related to those two boxes, the username and the password, right? And bear in mind that for different web pages, those objects might also get different with a different type of input details. So what we are seeking for are the username and the password. Now let's get back to the main configuration page. And those two elements need to be preceded by a hashtag. Now let's jump into the password field, same routine. Save all of the changes. Next thing will be to create an account for our connection. So let's select the plus button. Let's name it decently, like ESXi. The type of the account will be set as regular this time. Scroll down to the server category and pick the one we have made a few moments ago, like ESXi. To ease and speed up the process I've explained during the server configuration, we need to enter regular credentials for both username and passphrase. So for the login, and we need to replace secret with the password to connect to the ESXi application. Then save all of those changes. At the very end of this process, we need to create a save. So let's create one and put all of the objects that has emerged so far in our system, of course only those related to HTTP protocol. Select the plus button. Let's name it as HTTP_save. Add some users here. Also the account with the proper listener that we made at the very beginning of our journey. Now save all of those items. I believe that this is the time to test it out, so let's jump into the user portal, log in as a regular user, and try to connect with the ESXi existing account using the native application of yours, which is a browser, obviously. And this is how it should be done from the very bottom to the top. That's basically it, and I hope you have enjoyed this short video and it will aid you with HTTP protocol configuration process somewhere in future. So thank you so much and have a good one.